Okay, cool. We've got that. We've got that going. I'm just gonna record the audio. Nice one. Okay, right. If this works, it'll look so fucking cool.
I was in Athlone and then I moved to Barcelona for a while and now I'm back in Ireland for a little while.
Oh, cool.
Which was, it was all a pretty cool experience, a lot of learning, a lot of living. And just been trying to build out as many things as possible. I was making a lot of music, learning a lot more about the industry, and just anything that I've kind of found myself intrigued in or interested in, I'm just trying to kind of double down and learn as much as I possibly can about those things really. But obviously, all focused around Hives and just kind of building out that world in the physical and in the virtual.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So for anyone listening who doesn't really know, what is Hives?
What is Hives?
Yeah.
So Hives is kind of, well, it's essentially the project that I have coming, but it's a lot more than that because Hives is kind of like the community of people that I have, whether that's my friends and family or like the fans and different kind of things like that. If you want to call them fans, I don't know if you want to call them fans, but yeah. And yeah, we're kind of just trying to build a world and a community of people that is, I guess like-minded and into the same things and kind of has these similar interests and kind of, I don't know, for me making the project of Hives, it was kind of like trying to find the sounds of our generation and mixing them with the stories of our generation. And just kind of making a relatable thing that people can live through and kind of have as the soundtrack to their life, whether that's in the music form or in the videos or in photos or like discords and conversations or in virtual experiences and stuff like that. Just trying to build out as many touch points and connection points for people to relate or understand to me, I guess, and for me to them too.
Cool. So it's a lot more than just like an album or an EP. So it's essentially a mode for connecting with people.
Yes, yeah. It's I think the music is the key part. Like, the music is what it's all about. The music is obviously the inspiration. It's the thing that builds everything else off. But I think that if you really want to create a community of people that understand each other and connect, you need to do a lot more than just sing some songs and write some songs. And yeah, I've just been trying to find as many ways as possible to connect and relate, and understand people that kind of connect to my music. Like, how do you take someone from being someone who just like for me anyway, with any artist I might like a couple of songs by them, but it's their live shows and their conversations and the things they do for their community that really makes them special to me. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing the same thing for the people that I've kind of invested their support and love in what I'm doing.
Cool. Okay, and so that, that's, so like, I mean, that a big part of that presumably in this sort of like virtual-esque society currently is social media and pushing like, your opinions and how you feel about certain things. Like you spoke about COVID at one point and said, you said something very interesting about masks, and I thought that was quite. I kind of agree with it. It's kind of interesting. You were saying something like, basically leave people alone. if you if they want to wear a mask, let them, and if they don't want to, leave them alone.
So just from a place of like, and that, like, obviously people have lots of opinions on that, but I think it comes down to just a thing of empathy, like empathizing with, with the society we're living in at the moment. There's so many more divisions than there ever was. Like, there's so many more reasons for me to not like you or you to not like me. Like, oh, you wear your hair that way, oh fuck, we can't be part of the same crew, or we can't be part of the same thing. And obviously masks and opinions on all these things is the same thing. Like, you never know why someone's doing or not doing something. So you don't know if they have a condition, you don't know what they think, you don't know if they have other traumas. You just never know with people. And I just kind of think if everyone exercised a little bit more empathy, because everyone loves to do it in like this kind of social justice way, but no one will do it about like a lot of more real topics. And Jamie, it goes like pure empathy and being kind goes a lot further than just what's politically correct. It comes down to like, why are people doing certain things? Why are they not doing certain things? Why is someone hurting? Why is people lashing out? Like, we need to just kind of, just show a bit more empathy towards each other and breed a much less toxic society. And I think that masks, like everything else, is just one example. There's hundreds of millions of examples of places where we're being divided or dividing ourselves a lot of the time. Whether it's the genres of music you listen to or the way you dress, people just love to think, oh, you're that, so you're in that category. And that category can't be friends with this category or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's on the ball, and I think that's very, you know, the more online things get, I think that definitely shows a lot more, and that's great.
And I think online specifically, because everything's becoming like subgenred and sub categorized.
Yeah.
That you're either an e-boy or you're a bro or you're a rugby lad or you're like bro. All these people can be friends. We can all know each other. We can all know each other. We all relate to each other. But because of the way like different kind of like we've done it ourselves. It's not social media's fault. It's not anything. It's society's fault. But we just tend to kind of label each other so much that we end up kind of dividing rather than. And again, I think the funny thing is when you put people in like these subcategories, is a lot of the time those people in those subcategories don't actually relate as much as you think they do. Like, for example, if I'm put in like this kind of emo, e-boy category, and that doesn't mean I necessarily actually relate with people in that category. I probably relate a lot more to people like yourself or like people in many other different categories. I just think that this whole categorizing of culture and music and opinions is pretty fucking toxic.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think you made an interesting point. Have you ever seen like Black Mirror?
I have. I've seen some episodes. I'm not super in the loop, but I've seen like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jodie Foster directed one of the episodes, and she turned around and said that it's not even about the technology. It's actually about the person who uses it, and the technology shows people their nature. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right there, because people are quite quick to blame anything but themselves, you know.
Yeah. and it kind of comes down to the thing that we can be scared of technology, and we can be scared of social media, and we can be scared of the way the future's going. But it all comes down to the way we as a society want to train each other to treat and use those things. And Jamie, like I wouldn't have anything I have without social media. I wouldn't have the education I have. I wouldn't have the friends I have. Like, there's so many good things about it as well as there's so many bad things. But it's kind of about just educating and using all of these things that we're learning about, whether it's technology or AI or whatever it is, that we're using it for good and not for all the wrong shit.
Yeah. Okay, well, so look, I had another thing I wanted to ask about, which I found interesting, and I really don't want to polarize this interview at all, but anyway, it's you said this on Twitter, and I thought this was interesting, which was COVID is being used to justify everything and anything when it comes to rules, laws, etc. And I can't stress how dangerous this is. And then you said we need to question everything, please be logical. The people running this country and the police force have proven many times they cannot be trusted. And what's interesting about that is it's not the sort of thing that you say because everyone else is saying it, or because like it's part of a trend, or it's it's your actual opinion on things, and I think that's somewhat rare.
I actually completely forgot that I said that. I don't know when I did. I never used Twitter. But sorry, go on with your question.
Well, no, I just found it interesting. Basically, there isn't even a question.
Yeah, well, I think that I think a lot of the time, again, it comes back to the thing of like good and bad. Like, so many things are used to justify other things. Like, obviously, code is one example.
Yeah.
But there's many examples. The same way, like, in like rock and roll and punk, people justify that, like, let's not even say that. Let's go like emo and like trap culture.
Yeah.
That you have to be like, you justify drug use and like glorifying drug use because, like, just because it's like, oh well, that's just what people in that community do, and it's like, no, bro, people in that community need help. The same way, like, a lot of the time, whether it's anything, whether it's your police forces or your governments or just a popular group of people, I feel like so many things get justified or normalized and not questioned, and it's like nobody's evil. Like, anyone that's like even in the case of, say, like, people glorifying drugs, a lot of time people don't know they're glorifying drugs. They just have never been asked, like, yo bro, like, why are you doing that, or like what's going on inside of you, and like where's the conversation. It's just people, whether it's COVID and people bashing either side, or whether it's like addiction and people bashing either side, people just love to tear apart and not question the other side's things and just justify any sort of madness because it's for this cause or it's for this thing, when really, if you had a conversation, you'd see that we're probably all a lot more alike than we'd like to admit. When it comes to things like police forces, I find personally police forces very, very, very hard to trust and be comfortable around, just because I've seen so many horrific things happen firsthand and just seen so much corruption. And any group of people that have proven corruption once or twice, to me, is just a kind of a group of people that can never really be trusted. That doesn't mean they're bad people. Obviously, they're not. People in whatever group are not always all bad people. But I think if you side with corruption or you side with just injustice in general, I find it very hard to kind of take people serious that work in those jobs or represent those groups, whatever the group is.
Cool. That's quite cool. I think that's cool. I mean, for example, the head of the HSE used to be part of the Leninist Marxist Society, which is interesting. But,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just found it out on Wikipedia. But yeah, no, and I also think that you spoke about addiction there, and I think like that, I found that true also in a lot of your music. I think particularly like Jellyfish and Tin Can Man, like they speak about addiction quite a lot. So you know, is addiction like and drugs and all that something that like you know you feel particularly strongly about, or like is it something that you feel is a genuine problem, or is it more of a personal thing?
I feel like what I have an issue with is like the perception. It's not like Jimmy. I've never had a deep dark drug addiction myself, or had a battle like that. With anything that is very heavy. Obviously, we all have our own addictions that we're dealing with, but whatever. But in regards to people, like the reason I find that topic kind of something that I talk about a lot is because I see it a lot around me. Like there's just a lot of people that I know in my life that go through things like that, and on one side, it angers me very deeply when people demonize people that are addicted to something like they're evil people, or like there's something wrong. And obviously, there's so many more issues that need to be solved there, or just to label people on a thing like, oh, they're just an addict, or oh, they're just a junkie, like they yada yada. Like there's obviously something that has gotten them to that situation. A lot of time, that's issues within society, or a lack of love, or a lack of caring for people. And then outside of that, I think the thing I just find very scary from or why I talk about it a lot is because I see it around me so much and see how easy it creeps in, and how in Ireland specifically our culture, even with as basic things as like drink and weed, for example, like I feel like everyone's been addicted or low key has bad relationships with these things a lot of the time. We kind of have this culture of saying like nah, like that's normal, but is it normal? I don't know. And I'm obviously 100% part of that group of people that are questioning myself all the time with the things I use and how much I use them and stuff. But the reason I kind of tap on it is just because I talk about what I see around me and what me and my friends and people I love are going through. And that's unfortunately one of the things that I see more than I'd like to.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. And so you've released some new stuff. And it's also it's very like, for example, I mean, Silence of the Sunrise. I've seen you talk about like you had some sort of a trip up in Galway, which was inspired by that. So what's going on there? So I'm curious about that.
So Silence of the Sunrise, definitely one of my favourites that I put out. Not necessarily saying it's not that I'm not saying it's the best record. I'm saying it's definitely one of my favourite records I made.
Cool,
we made it. I lived in Galway last summer. It's had a lot of beautiful experiences, a lot of beautiful people, and I actually wrote it as like a kind of a country song. It was like a guitar. It was like I love the silence in the sunrise.
All right.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with it for ages. I was like, I just loved it. Like I kept playing this little demo I made, like repeat. And it's like a minute and a half long.
Yeah.
I brought it down to Patrick, who's a member of the Lost Boys down in Limerick, and he's just a genius producer, and he kind of just knows how to build things out. And we made like we made like 10 different versions or something. There's some silly amount of versions of that song, and then we kind of just kept chipping away at it over like a year, and then one time Patrick pulled in this drop section, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, because everything was like a lot slower at that time. And I was like, he did this little drum and bass section, and I was like, fuck this. I was like, everything else needs to go. This is the direction we need to go in.
Right, yeah.
And then we kept just kind of adding more drops and more kind of different elements and different sounds. I think the reason I love that track so much, or why I think it's such an important part of the project, is because I think that one really defines all the different sounds. And that's the most Prodigy, Pendulum, Chemical Brothers sounding record. And I talk about those people a lot, but you don't always actually see it in my music as much as I talk about it. So I think Silence from the Sunrise is like this is evidently me showing my influences and my inspirations in those worlds, and kind of obviously paying homage in some way and trying to create something that feels the same way those records did when they came out.
Sick.
But yeah, and then obviously the song is just kind of about good times, friendship, the west of Ireland, that kind of euphoric feeling of sunrise and sunsets and mountaintops and the sea and everything that
Awesome.
the kind of party life in the west of Ireland is when you're traipsing through fields and walking along beaches and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's quite cool. And so you've gone from that sort of prodigy vibe, which was released quite recently, to even more recent release, which obviously people are going to be listening to this in like November, so it's ages ago now, but Make You Happy, which was the most lo-fi thing I've seen from you as well, and the most sort of chill, like sort of sad boy vibes. Yeah, definitely.
Written around the same time as Silence in the Sunrise, and that one was worked on with a guy called Colin Monroe. He's like an absolutely incredible producer. He lives out in LA, and I had that track. That track is a very painful track. As kind of the end of last summer kind of came about, so much shit was happening. And, I was kind of that feeling of, I don't know if you've ever can relate to this yourself, but when I really feel everyone's kind of pain and feelings around me more so than I nearly feel like. I think a lot of the time I'm quite emotionally numb about my own things, but other people's things affect me a lot more at this point in my life. I don't know why that is. It is what it is. I just feel this frustration of like, why is the world this way, and why are there so many hurt people around me? Why are people being harmed and abused, and why have these things happen to people that never deserved these things to happen to them? They never did anything wrong. They were just wonderful people. And I just kept hearing that story, and then obviously with people close to me and people far away, and then obviously it's inspired by one person specifically, but it kind of, it's just kind of me getting that off my chest, because that's kind of all I want to do, is obviously be there for the people I love and make them happy, and be that, but you obviously always can't be as well, and you kind of, the world's a lot more complicated than we make it in our heads, I guess. But in regards to that, the song is about love in the west of Ireland and abuse and the different fucking things that just get thrown at women specifically, and just kind of how fucking angry and frustrated that makes me.
Cool. And so also you spoke there about a guy you featured with and you worked with, and you seem to be working with a lot of people. Like you mentioned the Lost Boys there, and you did Sunrise with the Lost Boys. And that got on Dope Lyrics, I noticed, with like 14 million subscribers on YouTube, which is quite a I thought that was cool. So who's like the best, like hands down, who's the best artist you've ever worked with?
Like anyone that I've worked with, I'm a massive fan of. I'm a massive fan of Lost Boys, massive fan of Crim, obviously John, Eddie. Like there's so many people that I'm just massive fans of. I'd say for me, just from being a fan perspective, because most people that I work with are my friends, and the first person, say Bad Lad, obviously in Exhale, was a really kind of eye-opening and interesting experience for me, I'd say, and probably my favourite like feature experience I've had, because I learned an awful lot from him, and he kind of taught me an awful lot, and just the way he moves, he's a very professional, very genuine, very good heart character, and again, I see a lot of the things that I want to do in him, in the way he treats people around him, in the way he treats like people he works with. Obviously in music and artists, you get a lot of really flaky people, a lot of really fucking all over the place people that just aren't on their shit and don't work as hard as they may seem or may make it look.
Particularly with music.
Bad Lad was one of those people that when I started working with him, I was like, yo, your work rate is actually mad. Like you're fucking turning things around for me in days, you're hitting me back up, you're actively involved and want to make sure that this is the best thing it can be. So I think from a learning perspective and from just an inspiring thing, like I'm definitely a big fan of Bad Lad, and it was lovely to do that record with him. Cool. But as I said, everyone I've worked with has been an incredible experience in different ways. Obviously Lost Boys was a really cool one too, because Patrick from Lost Boys is someone that has been kind of heavily involved in my music since then, and obviously working with them kind of opened that up and made us move on to doing more stuff kind of secretly.
Cool.
And of course as well, John. Like John's been a massive mentor for me in the way I like. It's going off of impact, and someone that if there's a relationship I've built off of music, it's definitely John. Like John's become a very like good friend of mine, and someone that I feel like I can talk to you and ask anything and give me great advice from a completely different perspective.
Yeah, no, he's probably the most accessible man under the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know who John is, it's John Gibbons, the DJ.
Yeah, and he just I think when I look at someone like John again, it's that inspiration of like seeing someone who is a little bit older than me and how they've built out their life and what they've built as their like what's important to them in life, what their morals are, you see a lot of shit that people in the music industry that don't have that stuff kind of under the belt. Like he knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's aligned. He's positive. He's got a clear head, and they're all things that I aspire to be.
No, he's very positive as well. Yeah, particularly. That's quite cool. Cool. So like, how did you get into music in general? I mean, like, why music specifically?
The short answer is because I've never ever been able to do anything else. I'm just insanely shit at everything I've tried. When both my parents like they paint and draw and just very creative people. And it used to fucking drive me crazy because I can't paint, I can't draw, can't do anything like that. It was so fucking frustrating. I couldn't even make a birthday card. Like it would just look shit. Like. So then one day I got very frustrated and I kind of started writing poems and just kind of tying in with what you're saying. Like that's where it all started for me. I wrote poetry, an awful lot of poetry. Used to hate like mainstream music. Used to hate rap music. Used to hate it all when I was like 10, and was just very into lyrics. So I started off writing a lot of poems that kind of turned into songs. Then I got like really into punk. Initially like Sex Pistols and stuff like that, and then. Through that, I kind of found grime, and grime like blew my mind. That was like the first like, and obviously like the Prodigy and stuff like that. I was also listening to around those times. But I heard grime and I was like, wow, this has all the energy and angst and passion that like punk has, but it has these incredible lyrics and these stories that I just want to know more and more about. And then through obviously understanding and getting used to listening to grime, I then found rap and hip hop a lot more like accessible and easy to take in. But yeah, like for me, it was just kind of a vehicle of expressing myself, and it gave me something to do. It was kind of, I remember it was like this running joke when I was young of like, one of my friends, Tom, me and him were both shit at things, like shit at sports, shit, just stuff like that. And I remember I was like starting, I've been probably writing songs for like 2 years at this point. I hadn't put them out anywhere or anything, I was just writing them. And he was like, oh man, so when are you going to quit? Like, I was like, yeah, fuck, I was like, I actually don't know, because we quit everything else we'd done so far, like, when we were like 12 or 13. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I am going to quit this, I actually quite like it. And then, that kind of just, the passion obviously stayed, and it still is there. And I'm very, very grateful and very fucking blessed to have a thing to put my shit through, because I feel like that's, once you have a purpose, or you have a vehicle to kind of give a reason for life, I feel like life's a very different experience than it is when you're kind of a little bit lost, or you don't know, you just haven't found that thing yet. And I think if I hadn't found that thing, fuck knows where I'd be or what I'd be doing, because I just have a very busy mind, and I think I'd probably be a very frustrated and angry person.
Yeah, fair. Well, that seems evident, because for a man who apparently was shit at everything, you're very hard working with the music. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, it's easier to work once you that's also why I believe that like no one is shit. Like that's why I would never ever look down or disrespect anyone else, because you literally, no one's shit. They just, as soon as they find a thing, they excel in it. Like I'm only, like, you're only talking to me, people only care about me because I found a thing and I excelled in it. But before that, if you strip away that thing, I'm just another fucking waster that was sat in the school that everyone else thought was fucking useless as well.
Yeah.
And so I think from the perspective of, like, that's why I work so hard in this thing, because I'm like, fuck, I have a thing, I need to make the absolute most of it. But I also feel like everyone has a thing, everyone has a purpose and a reason, and unfortunately, just the way the world is, it can make it quite difficult to find it.
Definitely, yeah.
But I don't think I'm any kind of better, and also via music, I've actually found other things that I like, and has given me a reason to work, because I'm not a hard-working person. I actually don't give a fuck. If I don't care about the thing, I'm very hard to make do things. But because I found the thing, I've just kind of devoted all my time and life to it, because I need to, because I kind of owe it to it, I guess.
Yeah, fair. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I mean, I think you're right about that. I think like, people don't get encouragement, and they don't get the ability to like figure out what they actually want to do. I mean, When you're 16, you're expected to know what your career is going to be. So it's
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So have you gigged yet since the whole gradual reopening?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No gigs. I've done a couple of live streams, which obviously aren't gigs, but yeah, done them. We're throwing, this is obviously going to be out by then, but I'm doing a skate jam in Galway on the 17th, which is like this Friday. And we're doing like a surprise live set of it, just in like the park. So I'm kind of going more that direction. I'm not really too, like, obviously I have bookings coming up further down the line, but just with the way the world is, I'm not really rushing into doing anything. I don't know if I'm welcome there or not yet. Like, I don't know what the crack is, but so yeah, I'm kind of just like, at the moment, I don't really care about, I just want to build grassroots stuff. I want to build connections with people and build experiences. And I think doing that via things like skate jams and meetups and parties and kind of just like real actual culture stuff, like scene stuff, not, this is my headline show, come buy a ticket. Like, I definitely will do that stuff. And all of that is beautiful, but I think there's so much more kind of like foundation and nurturing and connection that can be built in a lot of different places. And as well, it's very hard for me. I've always kind of had a hard time getting opportunities as a live act, even though I would consider my live act to be pretty strong. Just always found it hard. So I think creating our own opportunities and kind of going where we're actually wanted rather than where we're not wanted, I think is probably probably the move, until I have that leverage and have that group of people and that connection and that kind of community that want to move on to bigger stuff. And
Class. Sounds great. I think that, regardless of what YouTube ads you might see, there's no sort of way around hard work, because like I work in a label, and the artists who don't have initiative and who go, well, the label will do it all for us and the music will just become number one. No, like, even if you're with a label, your track is being released, but it's being released with like 3 others that week. So, unless, it's very machine orientated, so you've got to sort of, there's no way around hard work. So,
yeah, and I think another thing that people forget with labels as well is that you need to inject excitement into your label. Like, your label need to know that your track is the priority this week, and you need to be following up with them and be like, yo, why is this not done? Like, why is this not done? Like, can we do this? Like, I have this great idea, I want to do this thing. Like, people get priority at label by having great ideas and obviously not signing too early as well, and not just being some fucking artist that they throw out, which obviously is wrong. I don't think labels should do that. I think labels should never sign people that aren't their priority, and I think that's a massive issue in itself. But that's just how it is.
It is what it is. Okay, so, and I forgot to mention about Landlord, because I really wanted to talk about Landlord, because I feel like, there are some like issues going on rent-wise with people. Is this sort of based on personal experience? Did your landlord try and kick you out at one point, or what's up?
Is it based on personal experience? No, so I've had I lived with my auntie in Dublin for 3 years because I couldn't find a place and couldn't afford a place. Which was incredible. So the whole I've refused ever to rent in Dublin because I've never ever been able to find a place or justify the prices.
It's insane. It's
quality insane. So I think Landlord is based on, again, all the people around me, all the things I see, the constant on the project. If you listen to the outro, you'll hear why I'm so passionate about it. I don't want to really talk about that in interview because it's kind of a deeper topic that I kind of left with the music.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, the reason I, like, in regards to not my personal, like, taking away like why I feel strongly about it, the reason it's a problem is because there's not one person you can talk to that hasn't had a bad experience in the major cities in Ireland, whether that's Limerick or Dublin or Galway. Specifically, I'm sure there's plenty of other dreadful places in regards to renting as well. I think it's just a really, really big problem. I think the main issue I have with it all is that nothing is going to be done because the same people that run our country are the same people that own a lot of these houses, and obviously are not going to put through any bills that will mean that everything should be lowered or whatever, because the same TD that's saying no, we should keep the prices the same way is the same TD that owns probably 5 properties or 12 properties or whatever it is. And I think it's just really frustrating, and I wanted to kind of give a voice or give a feeling to that frustration, because it really doesn't feel like we can do anything. It doesn't feel like it can get solved, because it's not really a bottom, like it's not really like a working class thing to be fixed, because we don't have the leverage or the, again, you can protest a lot and you can do all these things, but I don't really see that changing, because it's a small group of maybe like 100 people that own all these properties, the majority there's nothing, and it's just a very complicated situation, and something that frustrates me an awful lot and makes me very sad that a basic human right is not a thing here in Ireland, or across the world. It's not just Ireland. Like, Ireland's particularly bad, but there's a lot of really fucking dreadful places to live in the world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, particularly with Dublin, because I mean,
yeah,
I'm
Dublin's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's not worth it in the least. So.
And even from that, like zooming out from the perspective of middle class and working class people that are just trying to live.
Yeah.
If you go on to get into the homeless thing of it, like it should not be that easy to become homeless. Like it should. Yeah. It shouldn't be just like an option that, oh, you're out in the street, that's it. Cool, deal with it.
Yeah, no, Grafton Street is genuinely horrific looking for the amount of homeless people. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy.
And this whole thing as well, that everyone on the streets is like drug addicts or alcoholics, again, is another horseshit thing, because there's so many people on our streets that are just people that are just had a bad, like, you know, 2 bad decisions, or fucking the luck of the draw, or they got thrown out of their house because someone's going to buy the house and now that's it, and they couldn't find anywhere else or whatever. You know, it's not just a drug thing or an alcoholic thing. This is just normal good people as well as all those people that just been thrown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
Yeah. Cool. So what's, like, I mean, I wonder, like, because this is coming out like late November, so I do you have any plans for around that period of time that you might? But if you don't, obviously that's perfectly normal.
We have a lot of plans, but I'm not sure what's happening when at the moment, because I won't lie, I've been so consumed by just Hives itself. Yeah. There's going to be a bunch of videos, there's going to be a bunch of cool things. I just don't know like what dates and when those things are happening, because until the project comes out on the 24th, I have just like blinders on, because there's so many like complicated things I need to do for that. Yeah. Obviously, because I'm doing it all myself and don't have a label or anything like that. But yeah, no, there definitely is things to look forward to in November. I feel like there's going to be another song in November. I have a record with Martin Ocean that's coming out in November. I know that for a fact, and I'm really excited for that record. Cool. It's called Ghost. It's kind of a really kind of darker and more meaningful song. Something you wouldn't really expect from him, as he's kind of been very chirpy and kind of happy and like motivated so far in his music. But this song is a bit more of like just a look inside his head, and same with my head. Yeah. And that's coming out in November, and I'm very excited for that. As far as anything else, there definitely is stuff. I'm not sure what dates and stuff.
Cool. Well, cool. We'll look forward to that track anyway. So Hives is coming out now, like in 2 weeks, but from when it's out, it's well out. So
it's out. Go listen to it.
Exactly. Go listen to it.
And if you want your questions answered about Landlord, go listen to the outro, and that'll tell you.
Sick. Boom. There we are. That's great. Also, merchandise. You were talking about merchandise. Have you got merchandise currently, or have you got ideas going, or what's up?
It arrived a week ago, like the big boxes. So we have 3 big boxes, it was very cool just to get them and look through them. So we've been doing that on the low key, kind of just anyone that's reached out to me at the moment. I haven't like launched the trailer for it, or like I know like we have the website, like everything's set up. I just haven't announced it yet, because I want to kind of when I do it, I want it to be really special, and I want to again do more things around it. But the reception and the people asking me for it and stuff has been very surprising. I wasn't expecting to have so many people. That's probably because I had my expectations quite low, because I was like, I don't think anyone will actually want to like have a hoodie or a t-shirt by me for whatever reason. But the merch is great. I'm really proud of how it looks. It was designed by Il Hippie, Matthew Fox, and Ty Costelloe, as well as myself. Oh, cool. We all kind of a joint project. As with most things, anything I do visually usually has those 3 people involved. It's we will be seen and heard on the back, which is like the Hives slogan. About our stories, and then it has like a cool kind of anime head on the front, which just says Hives with this like cool face.
I was hoping for a t-shirt with a massive picture of your face just here, just going like this. Bright pink or something, you know.
Yeah.
But cool, yeah, it sounds cool. It definitely sounds cool. But yeah, no, cool. And also, I wanted to ask this. Maybe I've already asked it before. I've got a terrible memory. But what's your favorite track that you've done?
That's my favorite track.
Oh, Silence in the Sunrise. But yeah.
Yeah, Silence in the Sunrise is definitely one that I'm very passionate about. Favorite track that I've done. Probably more unreleased ones, I'd say. I think. Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna say the outro is something I'm very proud of, because like all the songs I put out, like singles, are songs I'm always super passionate about. I don't put out a single if I'm not super passionate about it.
Yeah.
But the outro is something that I wouldn't have been able to do without doing a project. It's 8 minutes long. It starts off with this kind of song that is. It's me talking as like a slightly future me, but it's also me talking. It's also me referencing a lot of like, if you know a lot about Uppbeat and have known Uppbeat throughout the years, there's a lot of like secret references in the first section of the outro.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the last 4 minutes is basically me just pouring my heart out and telling people all the fucking shit that's been going on over like the last 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the people in my life that have gone through different things. And I'm just, it's like, I love writing like deep rap records, but I just don't really get to do an opportunity to do it, because that's not what my singles are like, and that's not the sound. I don't want to be known as like this deep rapper, but I do love, again, just kind of stripping myself back. I think it's the most vulnerable, fragile thing I've done. Every single person I played it to, I was in tears playing it.
Oh really? Yeah, it's that.
So,
yeah. No,
really
it's surprising that like, I'm amazed that you have like the ability to put that out even, because like if it's at that point, it's quite, because I have a similar song that I was working on that's the same, and I'm really hesitant about putting it out.
Yeah.
But
I think though, just a tip on that, I think is like, if you're not feeling like that feeling of like then like that's the feeling you want, and it's kind of a feeling I live for. And it doesn't happen a lot in my music now, with the singles and stuff, but with the deeper stuff, I just love playing that to my friends and be like, yeah, this is how I fucking feel. Like, and if it's not awkward and it's not like kind of an elephant in the room feeling, that's what I'm always going for. Is that like, oh fuck, this is like kind of weird to listen to. But I think the interesting thing with the outro as well is, because it is so kind of sensitive to a lot of different people, I had to go around clearing it by everyone. So I had to like play it to my mum and dad, I had to play it to Lucas and my brother and all these different people, and be like, yo, this is it, like, give me your feedback, tell me if it's all good, if it's not all good. And obviously they all cleared it and said it is all good to put out. But as far as just a moment and experience making that track and having to go around and play it to people and know that it might not be able to come out, someone mightn't want that out there or whatever, was definitely a lot more of an experience than other tracks may have been. So I'd say that's probably why it's one of my favourite things I've done. Right?
Sick. That's very cool. That's very cool. And how do you find doing all the stuff? Like, how much of it is on your own and how much of it is very, collaborative? Because I know you work with a lot of people, but at the same time, it's a solo artist thing. So.
Yeah. So I think the best way I have a really beautiful group of people around me that enable me. I think that's the best way to say it. Mm-hmm. So like, I live in a house with like a group of people, and everyone like is very. Yeah, it's a funny one, because I find myself a lot of the time being like, I do this all myself, and then I also find myself in the same sentence going like, oh, there's all these people with me doing this shit. I think what I'm trying to get at there is like, it's all my friends. Like, if you look at any big artist, or you look at even at this level, like it's not their friends. It's a person in a label, or it's their manager that's 45 years old, and it's this and that, and it is whatever. So everything, all the ideas 99% of the time are me. It's me following up. It's me writing the stuff. It's me giving the direction. It's me saying no. It's me making the hard decisions. It's me spending 10 hours every day, at least, working on this stuff. But there is a really beautiful group of people that I would not be able to do it without, and that's all the producers. That's my friends that I live with, that are constantly. It's kind of that thing of like, what is it? I think Napoleon Hill talks about it as in the mastermind. It's like the group of people around you. So it's not just you. Like you as a man are nothing. Get me? Like you're just some ideas and some skin basically. But your mind, when it's connected with 3 or 4 other minds, is when you create genius. So and that's what happens all the time. Get me? I say an idea to Matthew or Martin or one of my friends, and immediately the idea has become better, or it's been criticized, or it's been asked, and like, why are you doing that? Bang bang bang, and then we end on this great idea, and vice versa. We all bounce off each other with all our very different projects. And then in regards to the producers, I think that's probably the main place where it's like I genuinely wouldn't be able to do that without them, because if I didn't have Bob and Patrick and Leigh and Colin and Boone and all these people to bounce off, and all the years and years and years of expertise they put in to be able to play the guitar the way they can play it, or mix the vocals the way they can. Nick as well, who's the guy who mixes all my stuff. I think they're the only people that it's like I genuinely would not be able to do that. If I was to pick up a keyboard or pick up a piano, I wouldn't be able to fucking play that shit the same way it is. Right. But I feel like everything else is just kind of me learning, and yeah. So I think it's definitely a massive group effort, but it's a group of friends that have no, you know, they don't owe me anything. They just help me like where they can, and every time they do help me, I really, really fucking appreciate it. But they don't owe me anything. It's not like they work for me, or they're part of my team or part of my label or they're my management. They're not. They're just a fucking great group of friends that have enabled me to do some really wonderful things.
Sick, nice one.
But I think it's also better. I think that's probably more powerful than any label or any management team, is having 10 or 8 or 5 friends that just want you to see the best in life and fucking achieve everything.
Yeah, well, you're definitely going to be able to trust them anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of it as well, is you know you have people around you can trust because you've had them around for so long that whenever things do take off, you don't need to second guess it anyway.
Yeah. Sick. So you've got like a decent sort of mix between like the perfectionism of like working on your own and working with other people and all that stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you got no.
Yeah, because I really don't mean to sound fucking ignorant or contrived when I say it is all me. Like it obviously isn't all me. It is all those people.
Yeah.
I think what's different is that a lot of time when you're looking at managers or you're looking at like labels, is they're giving the artist the idea, or they're giving the artist the song or the lyrics or the marketing plan or whatever the fuck it is. Whereas Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's fair. And you got no like college plans or anything like that. It's all go.
No, I left school when I was in 5th year and started just kind of chasing music. So I don't really have an option there anymore. But no, I've never like this is just become in the last like month like feasible, so I can like actually survive off of this now, which is great.
Nice,
and that's because of that. That's not just because of like the music I'm making, but I help and work with a lot of other artists, kind of marketing and developing and just helping where I can, and that's made all of this possible with Exhale, which is obviously like the team of people that I work with.
Unreal.
Work for. Yeah. So I think as far as like college and stuff like that, I don't think I'd say. Not that I have anything against college. I think college is brilliant. I think for some people it's the fucking. It just depends on your industry. A lot of industries you need college for. A lot of industries you don't.
Yeah. And for the music one, you really don't. So.
Yeah, you really, really don't. I think if anything, it holds you back. Anyone who I know who is in the music industry who's gone to college is very resentful of their college years and very angry at the fact that they spent 3 or 4 years when they could have been in meetings or been in, shadowing someone or fucking apprenticeships or whatever.
Yeah, and it's not just a waste of, like, it's a waste of 3 of the best years of their life as well, like, in terms of health, if anything else,
Even though I was thinking about that one lately, and I'm starting to think this whole best years of your life thing is kind of a funny one. I feel like as much as it is true, like we obviously are in our healthiest, we're in our prime, we're in our sharpest years possibly. But I also think that when like again that's just another thing that kind of society threw at us is like we feel pressure to be like having the best time all the time when your 20s a lot of time isn't like giving tough fucking shit. There's a lot of working super hard and getting no money, whereas in your 30s when you're working hard you're getting money, so it's I feel like it's just the mental adoption. So obviously I'm 30 in my 20s, I'm having an incredible time, but I also think that my 30s and 40s will probably be a lot more cherished and I'll understand the world a lot better and I'll actually know who I am, because I'd be completely lying if I said I know who I am right now.
well no one knows who they are, so but
that's actually why I'm so inspired by John, and I'm so like blessed to have him as a kind of a mentor somewhat, is because I'm seeing someone who I actually look up to who's older than me, because a lot of people that are older than me I go, fuck man, that's not how I want to be living.
Exactly. You don't. That's exactly it, and I think that's why a lot of people
John is exactly that.
Exactly. He seems to be like, you forget his age, like you forget it quite easily. So I think you're right about that, and that's on the ball, because age is what you make it essentially. So.
That's how aware you are and how well you take care of yourself and all those things too.
Yeah, completely. Okay, cool, great stuff, great chat. Uppbeat, everybody. Check them out. Check out Hives.
Thank you very much for having me, man.
No problem. It was a pleasure. Cheers.
Yeah.
Hope to speak again about something sometime in the future. So.